Hello and welcome to Coach's Corner. My name is Chris Mygatt and I am a part of Leaders Edge Coaching. And I'm so thrilled to be on the podcast today. Today is the Leadership Edition. I'm so thrilled to have two amazing real estate leaders joining us today. First of all, on my left, on your right, we've got Kathy Reardon. I've known Kathy Reardon for a number of years. She's an incredible branch leader, and she's now heading up the East Valley office in Arizona. Like, this is like a huge geographic area, Kathy, in Arizona. And I know it's a new consolidation. It's a beautiful new office. It's spectacular. So I want to hear more about that in a second. And then I've got Brandon Hines with me. Brandon's also an old friend, someone that I have always admired and respected in the industry. He's Senior Director of Delivery and Coaching Strategy for Anywhere, the largest real estate company in the known universe, and just also a brilliant mind in the business. So today's session is really digging deep into a program called Leaders Weekly. It's a notion and idea of a group coaching, group training program offered every single week. So it's weekly, it's done live, it's professionally produced by Unbridled, one of the top production companies in the space. But it's Leaders Weekly is, think of it as a pathway to real estate success, right? It's designed for agents at all levels, but quite frankly, our sweet spot is probably the middle to the bottom half of the second quartile, third and fourth quartile. It is really designed for agents that just are looking for that weekly motivation, inspiration, strategies on how to grow their business, strategies on how to develop sales skills, how to close more deals, right? And then also this idea of the structure of your business. How do you operate more effectively and more efficiently? But I've got Kathy on the call today because Kathy has a huge office and she has been a part of Leaders Weekly for a long time, since the very beginning, Kathy.
Day one.
Wow. Day one.
So Kathy, why don't you just kind of give us a bit of an overview as to your role in the business and your thoughts of Leaders Weekly and how you've integrated that into your office culture. And Brandon and I, we're going to be listening. Get very carefully on this.
So I've been a manager now for almost 9 years. This is actually, with this recent move, we just moved last week, my fourth office that I have managed. We have 220 agents in a brand new office, which has been fun. But right from day one, when this came out, I managed Mesa Gilbert office. We had 115 agents. And it was paramount that they come. I can't make them come, but I think the more you talk about it, the more excited you get behind it, and really push it out to the agents. They love it. It's just been a great bonding for the office. It's a great bonding for, seasoned agents. I've got agents that are in that mid to top quartile that still will drop in on occasion just to hear what's going on. I also follow it up with our sales meeting, and I always have a tile on our PowerPoint, say, hey, this is what you missed. This is what we talked about. Now, why aren't you there on Monday? And you just let the question hang. You better be there on Monday because I know where you live. But they're getting excited, and more so the conversations that take place after. There's a whole half hour that takes place after with just going over things and sharing time. And they hear from the seasoned agents, for the newer agents, or the ones that are just afraid to get out of their box. And it really helps them just get out of being inside themselves. And we have a great time with it.
That's great to hear. You're a busy person. There's no doubt about that. And I think one of the things I hear from people is that by being able to offer this to your office, your agents individually in your office, it doesn't require you to curate any content, right? It's all done for you. You know that you can get there 5 minutes before time. You can turn the thing on, right, in your conference room or your training room, and quality content will come out. Q&A will come out. But I love what you just said, which is you keep the love alive, if you will, right? You keep the party going, if you will, when we're done, and you create that amazing culture in your office. And it's a chance for you to be able probably to connect with your agents and talk about other things that may pop up during the session.
And really even when I discuss it in sales meetings and when I'm around the whole group, is if you can't spend 1 hour a week on your business and growing your business, then you're in the wrong business. Because you're going to get a nugget. We all know some people aren't going to do what everything, Chris Leader tells them to do. That would be awesome, but we know it's not going to happen, right? Reality is they walk away with a nugget. And a story to tell, if I could tell a quick story, just last week, I had an agent, we have a brand new office, and she came in to do her buyer's consultation in the office, and she wanted to bring them to the new office. And we really pushed that, right? Leaders Weekly really pushed, like, get in front of them, get them to the office. And she signed 2 BRAs in 2 weeks from having them in the office. And she stood up at after last week's leaders, and she says, it works. And they really liked the office because we're in a new space. But she said, this works. And when you can have that testimonial from somebody that tried that little nugget that they got, it goes a long way. And then I made her stand up at the sales meeting and say the same thing. So, but you got to get it out there. We got to keep it fresh. We got to keep them reminded that this is going on. Yeah. And my new agents, I'm like, this is a must, guys. I can't make you do it, but if you want to be an agent, you will be there. And they show up.
That's great. That's really great. Brandon.
Yeah. I was going to say, first of all, this is my first podcast. And so I can't wait to see the millions of views that I know that it's going to.
You better get ready.
Thanks, Chris, for having me.
You're going to need a PR team, Brandon, to keep all the crowds back when you head out now.
Exactly. So, Kathy, I would like to build upon something that you said initially. Like, getting them there initially it's good, right? It's something new. But how have you sustained that excitement over the course of a year? Like, what are some of the strategies that you have done to keep them engaged?
It's just a matter of reminding them. They get the calendar invite. They get it on the sales meeting. They get it on my weekly wrap up. Here's what's coming next week. I take a lot of the content for the calendar invite right off of the email we get that shows what's coming up, copy, paste it, stick it in there, and make my own comments. You're not going to want to miss this one. And they show up. And since, they talk to each other, and I've never had less than 10. I mean, I will get anywhere. When I was in an office with 115, we would have 10 to 15 people. We had 15 to 20 this last Monday. These are offices that were condensed into one, and they're going to get used to how I talk about it all the time. And it doesn't hurt that I usually am texting Chris Mygatt and getting in all kinds of trouble, but that's a whole other topic we won't go down.
Nothing quite like a live presentation, Brandon. And I'm like, oh gosh, that's a good one. So, but I think that also speaks to the nimbleness, right? Because I think, Brandon, you're an educator at heart, right? You so understand what it means, the challenge that people are up against when it comes to learning, especially all of us as adult learners. And, this is not the program, the weekly program, although we're very structured, it's live and things go weird sometimes. And, that's just the nature of it. But I think it goes back to that authenticity. And you always speak, I think, very well about, authentic conversations, right? Authentic experiences in the business to create a learning moment, if you will.
Yes. And I also think, being in learning, I also know that the real learning happens kind of outside of the classroom, right? Mm-hmm. Inside the classroom, you're trying to inspire people, but you're really looking for behavior change. And I love what you said about the learning continues outside of the session, right? They're building a sense of community. They're talking. Talk to me about some of the results from that. Like, now that they kind of have this community together, talk about some of those results.
They share. They do a lot of sharing. And that's, and some agents will say, well, I've done it this way in the past, or, oh, I never thought about doing it this way. How do you do it? We do a little bit of role play, but it's really a time for them to reflect on what we just heard, because it goes quick. It's in an hour. I take copious notes, and then I'll bring up certain things, and we'll apply them to the everyday that they do. And we'll apply them to everybody's situation. And I asked them, on Monday, and I was like, why do you come? Because I knew I was going to be on the podcast. And one person says, I need the kick in the, and I said, okay, you do, right? And a lot of them are just, it's reminders, it's refreshers, but they love the conversation after. If I ask the right questions, we will get a conversation going about it. And they know how passionate I am. So that helps obviously get them in there and keep them there. But it's the news is relevant. We talk about the news. We talk about what did you get? I'll ask right after, what were your hot points? What did you get? And they all have different hot points. And they're like, yeah, I never thought of that. It starts the conversation. Sometimes we're in there for a half hour. Sometimes we're in there 10 minutes. Who knows? It just on how in depth they are. They love the speakers when they bring on the guest speakers at the beginning of the month. Oh, that is just killer, because you can listen to one person talk for so long. They can listen to me for so long. But when they get that other real live person, real live agent that's done it, then they're like, oh, yeah, this does work. And my thing is this, like, a lot of them won't go to coaching. And we've had that conversation about, would you ever go to coaching? Would you do coaching? And the biggest thing, or the reason I don't think they go, is fear. They don't want to be held accountable. They're afraid to be held accountable. And if we can get them over that bump, so they're just accountable one day a week, and not really accountable, but just involved in that and understanding what coaching is and how this all, you're going to get a couple of them that will end up joining, but for the most part, they're scared and they don't know where to start. And it gives them a really good starting place.
And as adult learners, we want to know what's in it for us, right? Our time is valuable. And so it sounds as like there's a lot of great content with real takeaways. We get that all the time from learning. It's like, but what are the 2 to 3 things that I can take away and apply in my business right now? And you touched on that, is that they can walk away and apply it. That's what's important. All right, Mygatt, I think you're onto something with this Leaders Weekly.
Oh my gosh.
It's sounding better and better.
It's amazing. They love it.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. One thing, Brandon, we should probably just call out here, because we've got a lot of folks from Coldwell Banker on they'll be observing this, managers, RVPs, presidents around the country, broker owners around the country. I'm excited. I certainly hope you're excited. I think you are. I know you are, about really bringing this whole idea of Leaders Weekly into the Coldwell Banker universe and making it easily accessible, right? For branch leaders, for broker owners to be able to not only showcase it to agents, but also create that camaraderie in the office. And maybe just mentioning a few things about the relationship and maybe how people can get, how do you actually get information about this program? Where would you go if you wanted to enroll?
Yeah. So that's a really good question, and I'm glad you asked that. So it's made it very simple to enroll, right? CBU, we're used to going to CBU. That's where everybody goes. That's where we go to log into classes, register for classes, and all things learning. And so you actually have a tile on CBU under Real Coaching, and Real Coaching will link you to Leaders Edge, and you can sign up for Leaders Weekly directly from there. So it's all within our system. Agents are used to going there, so it's very easy for you guys to go and sign up in the CBU. If you have a hard time finding Real Coaching, just type in Leaders Edge, search for it. It'll pull up for you. We've made it as easy as possible.
You make it so easy. I love that. That is
that's the only way to get them to do it, right? You got to make it easy.
That's right. One thing also that I think is really insightful and certainly helpful. Leaders Weekly is available for $49 a month, right? Out in the universe, la-di-da. But as a part of Coldwell Banker, it's $39. Think of it as like a subsidy, right? Like a subsidized pricing to be able to even make it more affordable. And one of the things that you've done that I really commend you for is really, I think, taking care of all the new agents that are coming in from all, anybody joining Coldwell Banker. I am learning that gets a free 30-day trial to Leaders Weekly. So when they do their onboarding, they get invited to a coaching orientation. And then at that coaching, they learn what a cool concept.
Yeah, really weekly, we will have these coaching orientations, if you want to call it, where they can learn all about the program. They can sign up right there. We'll have the link in the chat for them to sign up. But yes, anyone who is affiliating with Coldwell Banker will get a free 30-day subscription. Go in, put your credit card in. Guess what? You don't like it 28 days, cancel. But from what I'm hearing, nobody really cancels. So it's really great content. So absolutely, everybody gets that 30-day free trial.
The key to it though is really doing it in the office. Is not. I don't want to say not allowing them. Yes, they can go on and sign up. And I've had many of them say, well, can we get a link for that? And I says, no, you need to come in. And that's the key to any manager. It is worth every penny to get it for your office and create that culture in your office and that learning culture. And recruiting, it's been amazing with the recruiting. Because I'm like, well, do you get coaching? Does your broker coach you? No, come over here to Coldwell Banker. Let me show you what I do. And you will get people in for that. I actually got an agent signed up in Texas. It was a friend of my daughter-in-law's. And she sent me a text last week, probably because Chris called me out on again, I get called out on occasion. And she was watching it in Texas with her office. And just loved it. She's a brand new agent. She goes, the best thing I ever did was listen to you and come to a Coldwell Banker office.
I love that.
And she's there every Monday in Texas. So it's worth every penny for a manager. Get everybody in the office to watch it.
Yeah, you're so right, Kathy. You think about the price, right? $39 a month. Okay, so let's work that math out. Like we're talking about like exactly $10 a week. Like you can go to Starbucks and spend more than $10 a week on a really good drink and maybe a little roll.
You can spend $10 a day at Starbucks.
Exactly. So it's like a no-brainer price-wise. But I really think in a bigger picture, I look at you, right? And I look at a number of Coldwell Banker managers and broker owners across the country that are taking the time, right? You care enough about your agents. You care enough about not just their skill development, because listen, we all need that. I get that. But I think it's almost this like emotional well-being, right? It's this feeling like you're a part of something. I think back when I managed an office, and it was a number of years ago, but I managed for about 6-7 years. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I would think about an agent that I hadn't seen in like a month. I'd wake up and it's 4 a.m. I'm thinking about this agent. I'm like, why am I obsessing about this agent? But I'm worried, like I haven't seen them. Are they falling out of the business? But the challenge always was, if I called every single one of my agents that I was worried about right then and there, I couldn't have them all come in and meet with me because there wasn't enough time in the day or the week to do that. But if you can call people and say, listen, I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. Come in on Monday. Join us for Leaders Weekly on Monday. Just the fact that you reached out to them, that you called them, that you're thinking of them, you care about them. But the cool thing is you don't have to create more time out of your calendar to see them, to give them a hug or give them a handshake or pat them on the back. So that's something you do so well. And I'm always impressed how you build those relationships.
Yeah, it's a stickiness too. So as a manager, now they're stuck. They're stuck to you. They are sticky. And I have a couple of new ones I brought on that just rave about it on social media, how they're never going to go anywhere else. And the Coldwell Banker was the best thing they ever did. And, but you get to spend that time. They see you as a real person. And look, we work with our partner, we work with our partner, GRA, and GRA will, host breakfast on occasion. They'll bring in breakfast. I always have something there. The coffee's good. There's, power bars on the counter, but it's the manager that has to do it. You have to have the passion for it, and they will come in and they will stay.
Love that. Oh, now I always wrap up a different way. Today we're going to wrap it up. I want to know. I'm going to start with Kathy. Brandon, you're next. So think this through. You get a heads up notice. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream and why?
Mint chocolate chip. My mother had it all the time when we were kids, and it was green. We had the green mint chocolate chip.
I love it.
Isn't that
Brandon,
fun?
how about you?
Oh, wow. Butter pecan, because I love pecans. Or pecan, wherever part of the country.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for them to create a tequila ice cream because I think that's really what I need. Is a little more of that in my life. Oh my gosh. The both of you, thank you. Brandon, it's a pleasure to work with you hand in hand every day.
Yes.
with the cause of helping agents become the best they can become. That's an honor and a privilege that I have in working with you. And Kathy, I just so admire you, your personality, the hard work that you do, but mostly just that compassion and care that you have for real estate agents, because it's a hard business, and you open up doors of opportunity for people every single day. So thank you for what you do every day. So appreciate
You're
that.
the real hero, Kathy.
We thank everybody for joining us on Coach's Corner Leadership Edition today, where we're talking about Leaders Weekly. That is a group coaching program offered every single Monday, live, noon Eastern time. It is the true pathway to real estate success. We hope to see you this coming Monday at noon. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.